Here are 50 quotes from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It always seems impossible until it's done. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Difficulties break some men but make others. Freedom cannot be achieved unless the women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression. There is no passion to be found playing small a and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. I like friends who have independent minds because they tend to make you see problems from all angles. It is in your hands to create a better world for all who live in it. Lead from the back and let others believe they are in front. A nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. I dream of an Africa which is in peace with itself. Do not let your past dictate who you are, but let it be part of who you will become. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. I detest racialism because I regard it as a barbaric thing, whether it comes from a black man or a white man. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony. Action without vision is only passing time. Vision without action is merely daydreaming. But visions with action can change the world. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. Real leaders must be ready to sacrifice all for the freedom of their people. I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. When a man has done what he considers to be his duty to his people and his country, he can rest in peace. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. We must use time wisely and forever realize that the time is always ripe to do right. Let freedom reign. The sun never set on so glorious a human achievement. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. I had no epiphany, no singular revelation, no moment of truth, but a steady accumulation of 1,000 slights, 1,000 indignities and 1,000 unremembered moments produced in me an anger, a rebelliousness, a desire to fight the system that imprisoned my people. Do not allow your past to dictate who you are, but allow it to be part of who you will become. There can be no greater gift than that of giving one's time and energy to help others without expecting anything in return. Overcoming poverty is not a gesture of charity. It is an act of justice. To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Courageous people do not fear forgiving, for the sake of peace. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. It is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory. When nice things occur, you take the front line. When there is danger, then people will appreciate your leadership. It is music and dancing that make me at peace with the world. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. No country can really develop unless its citizens are educated. It is never my custom to use words lightly. If 27 years in prison have done anything to us, it was to use the silence of solitude to make us understand how precious words are and how real speech is in its impact on the way people live and die. Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. Let there be work, bread, water, and salt for all. I am fundamentally an optimist. Whether that comes from nature or nurture, I cannot say. Part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed toward the sun, one's feet moving forward. There were many dark moments when my faith in humanity was sorely tested, but I would not and could not give myself up to despair. That way lays defeat and death. When people are determined, they can overcome anything. I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. These quotes capture Nelson Mandela's wisdom, courage, and his unwavering commitment to justice, equality, and freedom.